The whole time I was talking and there was no sound. Oh my
happy
God.
Saturday morning.
Happy Saturday morning, everyone.
After a major Friday night event with Eve and Joel.
Oh,
We had such an awesome time.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, again, folks, if you hear some noise behind us, our neighbor is the airline. So every 5 minutes, let me rephrase that.
No, we're at the hotel. We're still at the hotel.
We're at the
for
hotel,
event.
but the airport is right beside us. And every minute, right now, every minute, there's a plane that's either departing or arriving. So we do apologize for that. But I hope that it's not going to come through so loud as we share with you here today. Yeah, so what we were saying when the microphone was actually muted is last night we had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful event. And Eve and Joel are just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guests to have. And we can feel in the audience the respect and the love that the team have for them. They give so much of themselves and they are so generous. And what I really love about them is they understand the other side of the field work and the pressure and all the things that we go through. So as they make decisions in moving forward with the company, they always keep in mind what we have to go through, what we need. So we can talk about that a little further in other calls when we start doing some different kind of trainings when it comes to relationship between field and corporate. But I just wanted to acknowledge Eve and Joel. They were just absolutely wonderful last night. We just enjoyed our time together.
Absolutely.
So what we want to do at this point is, this is hands-on today. We want to share with you how Tammy and I utilizes the email marketing system that's included for your $10 a month. And folks, some people don't realize you're not just getting a backup service. You're getting so much more. And Tammy and I have had the opportunity to really pick Joel's brain with the last time he was here on some of the tips on how to deal with the email. Some of the things are important, and we want to communicate that to you. So I'm going to be sharing my screen very soon, and I'm going to share with you exactly what's going on. But before we start this, one thing we realize is a lot of associates feel where they need a system. They need to know, okay, what do I need to do to start my business? Where do I get the information? Where's all this stuff stored? So Tammy, why don't we just kind of tell people where they can find this stuff?
And then we'll go right back to the email marketing system. It's basically going to be a 101 because a lot of people, they, like Chris said, they really don't know what they have in their hands. And this is part of the not knowing. Is Chris is going to put the link here. But as you can see on the screen, everybody can see the screen. Yes. Okay. So you see, it's like a virtual filing cabinet is really what it is. And then you have several folders. So you can see the English, there's a French that's duplicated, Spanish duplicated, and the Italian we're working on as well. So we have a lot of support with the leadership, with just translating and doing the work. We're going to do a training on this next week because we find it very, very important, that 101 foundation, to be able to duplicate and not always have to be there and give the answer for your team members. As your team grows, you can plug them into the boards and they can start from square one. For example, I'm just going to use folder number 1. And I'll go through it again next week. If you see folder number 1, the moment I personally sign somebody up, I send them that. If Chris, you could open that up real quickly. I send this to them. So it's literally a copy, paste, and send, right? And you put their name, of course. And they get their message on any platform. And then you go into step number 1, and that's how to get your referral link. Step number 2 is join the group, because you want them to come into the community, right? And then step number 3 is a link for them to set up their board so they have access to this as well. And you can see there's setting your goals and logging into your back office, how to use the tool. So this onboarding folder is critical, and you don't even have to think. The moment your person gets started, you go to that folder and then you send the first one. And next week, I'm going to do a training on how to get the best results and maximize to build solid relationships through this platform.
So keep in mind here, folks, that there's a lot of information here. Do not be afraid to click buttons. Nothing's going to break. Right? Just click on the link that we provided here a moment ago and just venture on it. And if you have the board installed, I recommend to install it. This is designed to be an app to be utilized within your cell phone, and it's very easy to share content and everything else. It's all here. Presentations and all of this, it's all there. So again, the training is not on that topic, but we wanted you to be aware of this. Okay.
Get all your team members on next week's session for sure.
Yeah. So right now we're going to shift over the email marketing system. And folks, this is a 101. This is not an intense training. You don't need to be a professional. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you can log into your back office. Once you log into your back office, then you select lead capture system. So as you click on this, then by default, this is the page that will come up. You can see here that I have some leads that are in my pre-enrollee. I'll explain that in a minute. I have here my resellers, okay? And in fact, I have more than that are enrolled, but I started sending emails a little bit later in the game. So that's why it says 30 opposed to, I think, about 40 right now. And the fact here is also we have the co-op. You know, when Gotbackup offers this co-op program, and some of you are saying, well, okay, what do I do with this? How do I interact with them? What do I do with these leads? Well, this is what we want to touch on. Again, we're not going to go through in length on how this is going to work. We just want you to be aware, and we will have other trainings that will follow up to give you more details. But I think with this segment, you'll have enough information to at least get started. So let me start with the messaging. So the very first thing I recommend is click on follow-ups. Okay, and as you click on follow-ups, then you will notice here on your right-hand side that you have a whole bunch of lists. Okay, the one that matters to you are the reseller. These are people that have activated. Okay, these are people that decide to become a member. The pre-enrollee. This is, the link that you receive when you enroll and you send to someone and they end up on the landing page and they put their name and the email. Okay, and some of you might have had the phone number. The point here is whenever they register there, that's the list that they fall under, the pre-enrollee. Okay, the reseller, again, are when people are activating. So they've been receiving those emails and now they choose to activate, and then they end up on your holding tank. And from your holding tank, then you choose to place them into your tree wherever you want them. Okay. And Tammy, if you want to notice, if you notice that there's questions, just look on the left-hand side here so we can address them just in case. So the other thing that's very important here is the co-op traffic. Okay. So the co-op traffic these are the leads that are actually coming in from the purchase that Tammy and I have done, which I believe every month Joel opens the gateway and people can choose to buy into it. Then he closes it. And the reason why is because there's only so many leads he can have in a 1 month, right? So he wants to make sure that everybody delivers, that everybody received their leads. So, and I believe it's $100 and you get 40 leads. Now that's what, $2.50 or something like that. And folks, I have done a lot of Facebook ads, especially Google ads. And any of you may have done that. You're probably aware that a lead could cost you a whole lot more than $2.50. I mean, I had leads that cost me $50. I know it's ridiculous, but it's what happens sometimes when you're dealing with Google ads. It's expensive. When you're dealing with Facebook, it's a lot cheaper, but the average is about between $3 to $5 a lead. Just so that's the reality when you're when you utilize these kind of tools. But Joel offers this, and they're already in tune because they saw the details about Gotbackup. So there's kind of a step ahead, and the leads are $2.50. But understand that when you get those leads, they're cold. They don't know you from Adam, if you understand the expression. So you need to build a relationship with them. And that's the reason why we want to touch on, okay, how do we utilize this email system? They're not going to sign up into your business because you bought 40 leads. Folks, I have hundreds of leads from Facebook ads, and I've maybe converted 2 or 3. I spent a lot of money on that. So the reason I'm telling you this is I want you to have a perspective, because some folks is, oh my God, I spent $100 and I didn't convert anybody. Folks, it's normal. It's very inexpensive way to build your business, but you need to also develop your skills in converting this lead into an active associate.
As soon as Joel released the co-op, my sister and a couple of my partners as well, we all jumped on. You know, most of us didn't know what we were doing. We end up buying the pre-buy, the pre-made email responder system. All of us had that. So we knew that they were getting an email every day. And honestly, I never got one connection, although I'm still building relationships with them. But my sister and another one of my partners out in Canada, they each got 2 out of their 40. So you just never know. You know, when people are hungry, they're clicking on to join. So doesn't mean you're gonna get results right away. It doesn't mean you're not going to get results right away. But I think what's really important is that connection. The moment that lead pops in, build a relationship. It's so important.
Absolutely. And by the way, Randy, I see you here. Welcome. And congratulations in reaching your level of platinum. This is phenomenal.
Yes.
Glad to have you here.
Congratulations.
Yes. So here's the thing here, folks. Now let's kind of walk you through some of the basics, okay? And I want to keep that super simple. And if I do miss your questions, I do apologize. We're going to try to do our best because we're trying to do our training, and then there's the comments coming in and so forth. And I'm not in my usual environment, so I'm not as attentive, but I will do my best. We'll do our best. So what we're going to do right now, as I stated, to recap a little bit, is I ask you to go to message and select follow-ups. And then you're going to see all of the emails that are listed over here. And you probably say, okay, how do you get those emails there? Well, what are those? I'm going to explain that in a minute. So what happens is this is what we call let's say the pre-enrolling, okay? You know, when you sign up in Gotbackup and there's an upsell that says, did you want to have all your emails done for you, okay? If you're like me at the beginning, I didn't really understood. I didn't know what it was. And I said, no. But then there was another one that says, well, instead of being $199, you can get it for $99. So I said, oh, okay, I'll get the $99. Not realizing that you're getting 10 emails instead of 30. Okay, so the first upsell, which I think is super, super worth it, you get 30 emails. If you choose to decline that, the next offer is 10 emails. And folks, I don't recommend you nickel and dime this. I recommend you take it. This is what I did here. And these are exactly what they are. Okay. So I'm going to just open a few of them so you can see what they are. So when you click on this little icon, this is show, this is get rid of, which we don't want to do. This is to send me a test. So it's going to send a test to the email that's in the system that's going to be sent back to me. This here is if you want to add an email right on and need it. And this is if you want to edit it. Okay. So right now we're just going to look at it. So I'm going to click on show. Okay. And then what I decided to do is I wanted the email to be personal. One of the things that Joel was telling Tammy and I when he last visited us last month, was in October or November.
Yeah.
And
a month ago.
Yeah, it was about a month ago. And he says, one thing, Chris, it's really important is people need to relate to you. You need to be more personal, because what happens is, I mean, I love ChatGPT and all that stuff, but these are robots. They're great to give you a framework, to give you a context. Sometimes I'm blown away on how accurate information is. But remember that it needs to be your voice. It needs to be you. Mm-hmm. So what we did here is we put that little picture. That's our property here in Florida, which we're going there in about 3 weeks. We don't do winters anymore. So from there, I took this is the email that was part of the package, right? And the reason why I'm not changing this so much is because Joel is a professional in converting people. When you're buying those leads, you're going through someone who understands the conversion process. So if you turn around and start changing everything in your own words because you say, well, I don't like the grammar, I don't like this, blah, 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 blah. What's happening is you might be changing certain words that Joel has gone through to trial and error to actually initiate the conversion. So I recommend to be mindful of changing all the content, because maybe you're an English major and you want to do this, just keep in mind that some of the wording that are there are designed to generate an action. Okay, but it's not just going to happen just because it's there. So what happens here is I kept the context over here, but I added our picture. Okay, and because this is my account, so I put Christian, even though my wife and I obviously do the business as a partner. We branded ourselves as Chris and Tammy, and that's why it's there. Many people actually know of us that way within this kind of ecosystem in this world. But the fact here is it's coming from me. Tammy also has her account. It will have her name. Okay. And then I put my email at the bottom. And this is something I didn't have before. Okay. Which I highly recommend. And by the way, I didn't actually put my email there. I use codes, and I can show you this in a minute here. I'll go back into the editing so you see the actual code that I'm talking about here. Okay. So if you want to keep editing this, another thing I do recommend is also put your social media, because by default, it's going to point to the Gotbackup social media, which is wonderful if you don't have one. But really, again, it goes back to what are you trying to do? What's your goal? You're trying to connect to your audience. So if, let's say you're doing some lives, some reels, some pictures, vacations, things that you've done, things that the network marketing business you're with have been able to pay you to provide you the opportunity to go in a trip somewhere. And then so it creates what we call social credibility. So again, when you click on those, it will take them to our social media. We have one called Chris and Tammy, and that's the Facebook. We have Instagram and YouTube. It's really that simple. And that's the very first email that they get. Okay. And it carries on. So if I go back here and let's say I click the little button here, they edit. Now I can actually make, the changes that I want. If you don't have any emails at all, you can create them. Yes. Okay. And then I'll come back to that in a minute. But these are all the templates that you can use. Generally, I always use the Gotbackup template. That's the one that I use. Okay. Because I find it's the most useful. Okay, from there, let me just go back here. Let me go back.
It's designed for Gotbackup. So I would follow the same procedure because people recognize the logo. They recognize all this. Yeah.
Yeah, you see, that's the code I'm talking about. So for example, where do you get this? When you go under insert field, and then you would say here, the subscriber, that's your guest. The affiliate, that's you. Okay, so subscriber's name, here we go.
That's affiliate.
The affiliate, that's me. That's right. So, and this, okay, so this subscriber, that would be my guest. So I'm not going to put my name there. So it's going to be the subscriber. I'm going to put the first name. Yeah. When I click on that, that's exactly what will appear right here. It will show up in your email. It's really that simple. And you know this here, remember the email? That's the affiliate email, right? That is, again, how do I know this? Well, again, if I go back here and I select the affiliate and I want my email, the moment I click that, this is exactly what this will show. Okay, so if let's say I turn around and I change my email for whatever reason into the system, I don't have to remember to go and edit all my emails. Do you understand? That's why these codes are very important. So you don't go back and make mistakes where that email is not existing anymore. You know, sometimes it happens. That way the system will recognize whatever email is specified in the system, that's the email that we use. Okay, so that's all there is to it. So in this case, so let me go back. Okay, so again, these are the emails, and you can see here that in my pre-enrollee list, it was 37 sent. It's been opened 166 times. Now that's cool. That means they like something, or they keep coming back to check. You know what I think is going on? In one of those, in this email, there's a link for them to see, check your position since you enroll as a pre-enrollee where you didn't activate yet. And it shows all the people that came into the company. That's not necessarily their team, but what does that do? It creates a fear of loss, sense of urgency. In fact, I converted a few people just recently because they've been receiving these emails regularly. But remember one thing, there's only 10 emails here. After these emails are gone or are sent, it's not going to send anymore. And I'll tell you what I do a little later when I go into broadcasting. Okay, so this is again the portion with we're dealing with the pre-enrollee. Now let me go back to the co-op before I go to the reseller. So the co-op, also when you buy into the co-op program, there's also an upside. Do you want the email prepared for you? I recommend don't nickel and dime on these things. These has a lot of value. Okay, so
like for example, myself, I've never done email marketing at all. We've always done it the old-fashioned way, you know, connecting with people and sending them the link. They sign up. We connect them to the support team, and voila, right? So online marketing is a little bit of a different beast. So I said to myself, well, I'm gonna purchase, like Chris, I purchased the pre-enroll, I purchased the co-op. It's there for life. It's in your back office for life. You can click on the edit and you can personalize the information. You can change as you feel a change is being needed. And you can add another one in between just to build a relationship. And Joel calls them Seinfeld emails. And these are just connecting with them, talking about, you know, something you did with your family over the weekend. So they get to know you. They're building a relationship through your story, and you getting to know them as well, and encouraging them to get back to you so you guys can make that connection, get on a Zoom session, answer their questions, and get them in, kind of thing, right? So what I found, sorry about that, but what I found is that foundation of those 10 emails has helped me create broadcasts. It helped me create that extra email because the foundation was there for me to go, oh, I just have to do it like this. I just have to copy paste and go, and you'll see as you start doing this.
Yeah, so I just want to address the comment here from Norna. And Norna, I completely understand where you come from. And I want to bring this because you're not the only one that may feel that way. And folks, this is not something that you have to do. This is a choice, right? You should, for example, you can go to the store and buy this new shiny toy or not. Right, so it's an option, and many people have done it, and we want to give people a sense of direction on how to handle this. But if you can't afford this, listen, don't beat yourself up because of that. Mm-hmm. That means that you have to go out there and start creating, creating some what we call organic leads. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? Well, through your social media, through the activities. And again, stay tuned because we have a lot of trainings that we're going to be sharing with you that we're exposed to on how to attract people, how to become attractive online. And remember, Tammy and I, we're not young pups. I mean, we've built our career in this business in the 80s, mm-hmm. you know, with cassettes and DVDs and hotel meetings and traveling in countries and shaking people's hands. And that's how we've built the business. So for us, we had to convert. Okay, but I understand the financial situation, and don't feel that you need to buy those, mm-hmm. because some people do, and if they do, we want to make sure we provide them information. But if it's something you're not comfortable with, don't worry about it. There's other options. Okay.
And Norma, there's watch training videos. and you can learn how to create your own if it's something that you prefer to do.
Absolutely.
For those, and here's what we always tell people when they first start building. It's always good to go into your social environment, because people already know you, and it's easier to get into this environment using third-party validation. Always have somebody there with you that can support you, but also share the bigger vision. We did the training on that last week. I recommend you go back to that, because it's important to leverage the credibility for you to get the signups, and then you plug them into all of this stuff. When you start earning, don't eat up your profits. You want to put a portion of your earnings aside to be able to do this stuff, so you can increase your business flow.
Yeah, these are different mindsets that are absolutely critical in building this business, right? When you make money, don't turn around and start spending on the spot. Just anyway, so that's another topic that we want to talk about on budgeting and compounding your income and everything else, and where to place it. That's another call we'll bring later. But the point here is now we're in a co-op portion, and again, that's an upsell, and we chose these 10 emails. Okay. Now look what's going on here. 120 cents. Okay. That, remember, I didn't have as many leads at the beginning. And as we are evolving, there's more leads that we're buying, and it's accumulating and compounding. But the things you have to be mindful of, by law, if there is no email sent after 3 months, you can't keep sending emails to these people. It becomes spam. So that's the reason why it's very important not just to rely on those 10 emails, but you also have to create your own to maintain that relationship. And I'll show you exactly what I'm doing, how I'm doing this. Right now, we're on the second list that we want to cover on the co-op leads. Notice over here that there's 120 cents. There was 92 open. This is really cool. Folks, 92 out of 120 cents. This is pretty cool. And when you see here bounce rates, it's because these are new, fresh leads. You understand that some folks are not going to put real emails. Often they don't put an email that is a valid email. So if it's not a valid email, it bounces back.
Or they could have made an error with the spelling, right?
Yeah.
Realize.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the reason why this is higher at the beginning.
Yeah.
But you notice the number goes down as we keep moving forward. Yeah. Right? Because now these are people that are using legitimate emails. Okay. So, and I know that Joel is going to come in with some VIP package where you'll have a whole bunch of upgrade features. And it's so inexpensive, folks. You have no idea what you're getting here. All of this is all included. I want to remind you that this system, this email system, is included with your $10 a month. You don't need to spend any more money if you choose not to. But let's continue on this topic over here. Same thing. What I did on the very first one, okay, is same thing. I clicked the view so I can check the email. And this one, what I did, I don't know if we
did a personal video.
Yeah, we did a personal video. So I put a little circle here so people know it's a video, and I wrote here, watch the welcome video. Okay, I'm not going to play it for long, but just for you to have perspective.
Chris and I want to say thank you for taking the time to put your information to get more.
So again, I just wanted you to be aware that this is something that we've done. And we in future training, we'll show you, okay, how do you put a video up? How do you put your video into your email? All of these things are going to take place. Okay, but this email is through my co-op. And one thing that Joel was explaining is you want to introduce yourself to the world. See, Tammy and I have made, I don't want to come across as arrogant. We've done very well financially in this business, but we tend to be a little modest, right? We don't talk about it. So nobody knows who we are. But the fact is, we've helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people over the years to create an income, and many of them create a full-time income, and some of them who has been very wealthy, who bought properties, investments, and started, educating and traveling around the world to finish through the money they've earned through this to a network marketing opportunity. So what we did here is we just share a little bit about ourselves, and here I have some links. For example, here it says a Zoom meeting. So that's a link that I've added to encourage them to book an appointment with me. Okay, so again, and here there's a presentation that we've done. So what happens if they click on that? I don't know if that's going to work I think it might. Yeah. So from there, I created this presentation where people can register. right? Every 15 minutes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's a presentation that I did with Ann Turnbull and Dr. KOE, which is actually here among us. And people can register and everything else. My point in saying that, folks.
But you can promote the companies if those of you have
Exactly.
not
I'm showing you what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But the fact is, I want you to be aware that you can expand on this as you see fit. Okay. You can put anything you want. So the first email is more like showing the presentation, ask them to connect. I share my phone number here. This is, I can be mindful of that because you will have spammers that will actually start calling you and spamming. It's part of, but again, it's something that I'm open to do because in exchange, I do get business, right? So that's something you need to decide. But then at the end, because this is a co-op lead, right? I added the team of Gotbackup over here, okay? And I kept the same, our picture here, and I added the same information there, okay? Which is ours. So it's really that simple. That's all it is to it. And again, the same thing. You can edit and same. I'm not going to repeat this. It's the same process. Okay.
But edit and show them how they can do the links and the pictures. So if you wanted to add a picture.
So if you want to add a picture, so I just did the edit here. So where? Okay.
The bottom part.
So for example,
That's
it doesn't really matter, but
click on the picture there.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you click on the picture here and you go under, let's say, edit. Okay, you click on that. Okay, that's the link where in fact I'm pointing it to the video. That's why. Okay. So what's going on is when people click on my picture, it's going to point them to the video, the welcome video.
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I just put my picture there.
There's some things that I did and my wife didn't do.
Yeah.
But again,
so if you click on, like, let's just say that picture wasn't there.
Well, let's go on the bigger one here. Let's say I want to add another one. Okay. For the sake of this example,
just add something. Yeah.
Let's say I want to add a picture. So I'm going to click on this icon.
Correct.
And I'm going to go upload.
Yeah.
I'm going to browse. And let's say I want, I don't know. Let's say I want to put this picture over here. Okay. I don't know what it is. It's one of my email content that I sent. Okay. Oh, this is not a good format. Hold on. Let's pick something that it will recognize. Let's see. When you do things in real time, sometimes, well, here, let's try to use the screenshot, see if that would work. Okay, I'm not sure why I'm getting this error right now.
Yeah, you can add, you go into your photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can add images.
Yeah. So let me just go and try something else. And I can actually click on, find something.
Oh, put the flyer that we, okay, there we go.
You can actually bring it over here like that too, right? I don't know if that works if I do that. No,
it didn't work for me.
Okay, so I'm going to go. Hopefully that would work. I know that I need to see what's going on my end there. Let's pick, where was that picture earlier?
The most recent flyer is it this? No.
Yeah, when you do things in real time, right? Things don't always work the way you want to.
Is it in downloads? Go to photos. Just go to photos.
Maybe it's in downloads.
There we go.
Okay. Let's see. Hopefully that's going to work.
You got to play around to do this. You need a lot of patience.
So the thing is, it came up. And the reason why you get this error is because the resolution of picture might be too high, might be too low. This is why sometimes you have to, I didn't prepare what picture I would choose. I was just going randomly. And then from there, what's important is the dimension in your email. It's no more than 600 dpi, so it's dot per inch, okay? And then I use this, I check on this box to make sure that it keeps the proportion. And then the moment I click OK, then it appears, okay? Look at this beautiful picture over here. And that will be part of the email. So for me to save that, I just go to the bottom and I click on this button over here and it will save it. Now, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to mess up what I've done because it's an example on how to add a picture. If let's say I want people to go somewhere when you click on the picture, I can go in here and I can say add a link to it, okay? And on that link, I want to add, whatever, maybe the welcome video, and I could put the URL over here. It's that simple, okay? So let me just go out of there so I don't save that.
And the key is to practice and play with it. It's important to go back to the edit. And that's basically what we did, you guys. Just go down. Because this is really a 101 session, is you can add pictures. Okay, go up a bit. The top the gray bar. Okay, so you can center stuff. I'm sure some of you already know how to do that. Just play with this stuff. You cannot mess up. Anything you want to save, make sure you go to the bottom, edit it, save it. You can go back into it, open it up, and do some more work.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So again, I recommend you familiarize yourself with those details. So again, it's not in too in-depth detail here. We just want to give you an overview of how to utilize the email marketing system. So these are email, again, that were pre-designed by Gotbackup. And again, we just edited it with the content to make it more personal. Again, you can send yourself a copy. So if I click on this, you'll notice here, I'm going to click OK. And right away, you can have the little green box. It says, oh, okay, the message has been sent to my email. So that's the email that's in my system. And you hear the little beep there. It happens to be there. Okay. So then I can see how a user or a prospect would receive, like how it's going to look in their inbox by looking at how it looks on mine. So that's one of the things that I do. But you can also click this little eye over here and again, be able to see how the email will look like. And it replaces the codes with the names that happens to be, in your case, your name. Okay. So now this is the automated system. This is the set and forget. Okay. But remember, there's only 10 emails here. The last thing I want to cover here when it comes to the follow-up is the reseller. Now, the reseller, these are people that have converted, okay, that chose to become an associate. They activated. There's no emails that were created by Gotbackup for this. I created my own. And what it is I've been using some emails for years on to create, to stimulate, to educate, to inspire. And give you an example over here. This email here, because remember, someone that becomes either a co-op or a pre-enrollee, regardless, the moment they activate, they end up on that list, the reseller list. Now they receive that email. What do you think is important for a new person to be aware of when they sign up? So if I click on the show button, okay, again, why am I doing this? Because now, oh, this is the same people. That's Chris and Tammy. So again, it's familiarity. So that's the reason why I'm using the same email. So people are conscious that we're dealing with the same people here. And there, what I'm doing here is I'm simply expressing how delighted we are to have part of our team and a little bit of information. But what's important here is getting started right. Remember what Tammy was showing you manually on the board? Well, we're actually instructing people to do exactly that on the very first email. If you want an email, I don't mind sharing this because I created that. But I want to protect the rights of Gotbackup. So I'm not going to share the emails of Gotbackup. And again, everybody should be responsible to do their own business. But this is an email I created. I don't mind sharing this with you. You might have an English major. You might be doing things 1,000 times better than I do. But that works for me, right? So from there it's again, registration link, register with the Gotbackup, the board, the Gotbackup board, join a Telegram group so they can be aware of what's going on and trainings and so forth, events, set your target, okay? And again, when you click on this, right, I make them so people can click. It will take them right to my Dropbox, okay? So I try to facilitate so people don't have to go far to be able to find what they need to find to be able to move forward. Right? That's the Gotbackup login. Instead of Gotbackup software, again, what did I do? I'm putting them to where on the board where it's actually located. Okay. So again, what I'm trying to do is to facilitate the steps so they don't have to go far to get started. And that's what's important. I don't know if you realize, but just lately, Tammy and I have been recognizing a lot of platinums and sapphires and now emerald. Right. And soon I'm looking forward to start recognizing some rubies. Yes. Remember, we've been less than 6 months, about 7 months in this company. Yeah. Right. So now we're aiming for rubies. These are people that have reached $50,000 a month. Excuse me, cumulative, not a month, cumulative. Yeah. Okay. So again, it's all here. Start taking a personal customer and business part. What did I put? What is that pointing to? I forgot here. Oh, here you go. Okay. So again, it gets them to the steps. So again, folks, what's important, same thing. I got the social media. So you can notice the consistency. Book a call with me. So what happens is I want to encourage people to connect with me. So they go to here and then they can turn around, they can book an appointment. Okay, so you may say, well, you're fancy. Okay, I've been doing this for a long time and I have tools I've been using for a long time. And what I'm doing is I'm utilizing what I have into these email marketing. Some of you may have a lot of experience, maybe more experience than I do, and some of you might be completely new. Don't worry about what you don't know. Focus on what you do. And what's important is to take action now. But you see what's really cool at this point is now they can start booking appointments. We're busy this weekend, so I didn't book anything on the weekend. So and these are my times. You click on that and etc. Okay, so it's really straightforward. And all of that is in the very first email. Okay. The second email after that, now look at this. Sent 31 times, open 53 times, click 102 times. What does that mean? That means people keep coming back to access some of those links that are listed on the email at the bottom of the email that I just shared with you. So I can see that the team is using that. My personals are using that. Okay. So from there, the second one over here, is getting the most out of your business. Now, this is where we're starting to kind of stimulate, the team with some content. And again, I always encourage my personals not to be strangers. Connect with us. So from there, again, access or training. What is that going to point to? Well, guess what? On the board with all the information over here. So I keep redirecting people. These are people that are active, right? Book a call with me. Again, it's just to show you it's the same thing. So it's very repetitive, but that's the thing, is the consistency and a congruency. So that's the second email. I go back to these are the emails that I created. So from there, if I look at this one here, you are your own leader. Same thing. Now, here's what something an observation I want you to look at. Okay. Over here, okay, open 10 times. And I just started doing this, by the way.
Yeah.
So this is the reason why the numbers are low, because I just started kind of adding them to support my new lead, my new associates.
Yeah.
And the one thing you have to keep in mind is if someone has been in a business for about, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months, well, they're not going to receive those emails. The people receiving their emails are the new people that just converted from that point on. Okay, and we can expand on that a little bit later. So the fact here is these are all these emails that will stimulate, again, the encouragement to connect with me and to have some sense of direction. And again, there's no surprise that a lot of our personals are ranking high with Gotbackup. Why? Because they're well equipped. And that's the reason why Tammy and I wanted to do this training. I know I'm doing most of the talking here because I do a lot of technical stuff, but that's why we wanted to share this with you, so you can have the basic foundation to be able to explore the powerful tool that Gotbackup has to offer, again, for $10 a month. I'm not paying an extra $50 or $150 a month now. And keep in mind, there's some tools that are super powerful that is worth it. But my point here is I want you to know what you have for your $10 a month. Okay. Last thing. So now what we've done to recap is we talked about the pre-enrollee list. We talked about the co-op list, and we talked about the reseller list. These are people that converted from either the co-op or the pre-enrollee as an active member. Now, last thing we want to cover here is the broadcast. So now this is when you start, this is empty when you begin. Okay. And what's happening here is, for example, if I start from, for example, here's an email that I sent recently, and I know Tammy does the same thing. That, let's see.
Sometimes we create our own and then we'll share it with each other so we can
Correct.
leverage it, because we both have our own co-op leads. And sometimes, we just do our own.
So what happens here, if you look at this, for example, I sent here, remember, there was less leads here. And as I'm buying these leads or adding more, because every time I send, and I'll show you exactly how I send this in a minute. Here's an example of an email I'm about to prepare that I sent before over here. And I'm kind of replicating it, but modifying it a little bit. But notice here that this one has been opened 72 times. opposed to the other one. Why is that? But look at the title. He came from the basement.
Inspirational story.
People love to see people that came from a position of struggle to success. It attracts people's attention. No wonder 72 times it's been opened, right? So what happens here, but you notice that I don't have that many clicks, right? So this is what I'm working towards, okay? So for example here, breaking the barrier, okay? Here's a story. I'm going to click on that. And just to, because once you send the email, you can duplicate it and modify it and send it again. So you notice here those two lists. I send every time I send a broadcast, I send it to my co-op and my pre-enrollee because they're both really in the same boat. One came from the ad campaign that Gotbackup does, and the other one came from my organic efforts. These are my pre-enrollees. So from there, again, I selected the template at the time, which I say I always use the Gotbackup, and then I modify it. Okay, let's go back. When I do this, I have to retype in the thing. Hold on. Let me go back again. Which one? It came from the basement, right?
From the basement.
Where are you?
Right here.
Oh, right over here.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's click on that. Okay, so from there, that's the email. And this is a story of someone that came from a position of struggle. And it's an amazing story. So what am I trying to do? Well, I'm trying to get people to understand that even though you struggle, it doesn't have to be your future. Things could change if you choose to make a change. So they're kind of emails to get people to think about, well, maybe I should consider this opportunity, right? So from there, I know there's some questions. We need to address that in a minute, but let's just finish this portion. So, but every email, you'll notice that I have this link, view your power line, okay? And the reason why I have that is because, again, it creates that sense of urgency. If this person came in 6 months ago or 3 months ago or 2 weeks ago, you can see the number of people that enrolled in Gotbackup since the time they became a pre-enrollee, okay? And then that creates that sense of urgency combined with the message. This is how you can start converting people, okay? So it's just an example. So if I click save on that, what's going to happen? It's not going to send it. You'll notice there the little bar. Okay, so I can turn on and edit this. Okay,
and
here's
resend it.
Yeah, and resend it. But of course, you may want you could keep it the same, or you could add some more content. Okay, and folks, we will address some of your questions in a minute here. So from there, what I do is I know that Joel does an amazing presentation every Wednesday night to close kind of the week from Wednesday to Wednesday. So what happens here, if I look at this. Oh, that's the one that we did. Okay.
Yeah,
So Tammy and I do a presentation on Tuesday, right? So I was inviting people to join us, right? And again, if they click on this, then it brings them to the power line. And whatever email that they have, okay, so that would be, obviously mine wouldn't apply right now,
No,
but
they put in their own.
they would put their email. So log in with this email and they put the email in here. When they click on that, they can see how many people signed up and got backup since the time that they activated. You see? So again,
everybody, if you're doing presentations, you need to be doing a broadcast email to all of your contacts.
Absolutely.
All
So
the time.
every Wednesdays, right?
Yeah.
So for example, don't miss your ET moment. This is a really good one about the story with the movie ET and the chocolate, the Reese's Pieces, right? And they went to Mars, you know, the company Mars that does a Mars bar, and they refused to be part of this project. And Reese's Pieces says, oh, sure, I'm in. And since then, Reese's Pieces,
their sales went
they billions of sales because of decisions they made are getting involved. What does that send as a message? You understand what I'm saying? So these are the things that I'm trying to send. And folks, you can find these kind of emails. Just go online and search for network marketing emails, campaigns, or network marketing or emails for network marketing. Just do Google search and see what comes up. And that's what I did. And I bought a company that we're providing them, and I've been using them for years. And they still apply. They still apply today, right? So there's so many things that, but why am I sharing this with you? You remember when we talked about the follow-ups? Well, it's going to send 10 emails. Once those 10 emails are sent, they're sent.
Mhm.
If you haven't been contacting them for 3 months because you forgot all about it, well, then you can't reach them anymore.
Mhm.
Gotbackup by law has to put them as, I don't want to call them, well, I guess, inactive, because you haven't been in touch with them for 3 months. And that's the law, right? Because of the spamming rules and spamming laws. So it's important that you send an email at least once a week. And that's the least. It should be like once every 2 days, maybe even once a day.
Once a day at
Okay.
least.
And I don't want to overwhelm you,
Yeah.
but again, folks, if you want to be successful in this business,
Consistency.
you got to be consistent. You got to get to work. It's not just going to happen because you wish it,
Mhm.
right? So the fact here is what we're sharing with you is the how-tos, but you got to go and do your homework. You got to do the work. But we're telling you exactly what to do. And folks, that is included. Again, I keep underlining this. This is included in your $10 a month, right? So this is what's really, really, really important. And every time I broadcast, so if I want to create a new broadcast, I'm sorry. If I create a new broadcast, I can say send broadcast. Okay. And then it comes with there's
You
no,
choose where you want to send
right
it.
now, the email is blank.
Yeah.
Okay. So to give you an example, you choose, well, I want to send to co-op traffic and I want to send it to my pre-enrollees. Where are my
On
pre-enrollees?
the top.
Pre-enrollee over here.
Okay.
Okay. So this is it. What you guys saw earlier.
Okay.
And I'm going to use, let's see here. I'm
Insert
going to
field.
use, well, I'll do that later. I'll come back to that. So show my templates. Again, I was telling you I always use the Gotbackup. Use that. Okay, here we go. So the foundation is here.
So
Okay.
go to the top.
And then, yeah. So now on the subject, sometime I will use their name, sometime I don't. Right. So for example, if I say, well, I want to,
I think you should always do their first name.
it depends. It depends, because sometimes if you're
Oh,
sending the
things
10th
first. Okay, I
email,
see.
you don't
Yeah.
want to over, you
Mhm.
know. So from there, we're talking here the subscriber, I would say first name. Okay. And then I say go. Boom, it'll appear here. Okay. And then you can add, whatever you want to say to it. Okay. And then from there, let's put, okay. And then from there in the body, then you can choose to do what you want. Let's just say that I look at this link over here and I click on insert link. Okay. So that's the link of Gotbackup, Joel. Obviously, Joel doesn't know what your link is, so he needs to put something there. What I recommend is to use one of your links. So if I go back to, for example, let's just see here. If I go back to Facebook and let's say, I'll give you an example here and go back to Chris and Tammy, and I go in and I say, okay, so I want to go right on Chris and Tammy. Here we go. Here's my link. Okay, Chris and Tammy. I say copy. I go back to my Gotbackup and I would change this and put Chris and Tammy, click OK. Now that's been modified. Okay, so whenever I save this, okay, just going to add this for now. Remember, it's not sending it at the moment, okay? And it's right over here. Okay, so if I look at what this looks like so far, well, you can see here, if I click on that and say open it, now it's going to Chris and Tammy, okay? So what's happening, you see what I'm saying? And then from there, you can add the content as you see fit. So I know we're coming close to the top of the hour here.
There's a
So
bunch of questions.
yeah, so let's pause that for a minute here and let's look at the questions and address them. Let's see here. Okay, I'm having that error as well. It is a bug, needed to be correcting. Yeah, you know what? There might be an issue there, but I know that has something to do with the size of the file or format or something like that. But I always find a way to go around it, but it could be a possibility. Okay, that was, okay, sorry. Okay. Let's see, what other question do we have here? Cool. And guys, I really appreciate your feedback here.
Yeah.
I just want to go right into questions. Let's see what we got here. I paid for email that you followed up with. How does it work? I think we've kind of addressed that.
Through all that.
Okay.
It's just practice, you guys. Just spend some time playing with it, and if you can, I mean, even if you got family members that don't know what to get you for Christmas, get them all to team up.
Hey, Ross, thanks a lot, bud. I appreciate you.
And get you your email responder system for, for Christmas or something. So yeah, they're always nice gifts to have, and it's permanently in your back office once you have the email systems.
Yeah. So one of the question here is Gerwin 98. Can you add an email to the reseller list before anyone add them before? Well, remember the reseller list, right? If I go back to, let's see here, subscribers, let's see my subscribers list. I just want to see if you can do this manually. No. So they have to go through the portal of the link. So in other words, the reseller, let's see here. I don't know if you can manually add one. I can modify it. Now, I think it needs to be introduced by the system. And the reason I think this is like that, it's because of spamming rules, right? And again, I could be wrong. But the fact here is, generally, I've never done this. If I have a name in my system, it's because they opt in through the portal of either the prospecting landing page, right? Or the co-op leads. Okay,
Yeah,
that's how
yeah, you can't add a member. The company adds the member, right?
Yeah.
So
But
once they sign up.
yeah, so just keep in mind that this is not like an email like constant contact or Aweber. It's not the same thing.
No.
It's an emails that is designed to support your effort in continuing the conversation with a prospect that have onboarded with a link that you sent to them.
Exactly.
That's what the system is designed to do.
Yeah, so that would be your pre-enroller, the people who went to your link, signed on, then and put their name and email. Then you can start create stuff and send stuff to them. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the question here Joe has is, how do we set up the Gotbackup page to be an email capture page? I think what you're talking about here is probably your into just a second here. I think if you go to your dashboard, right over here, that's where you were modified, the contact that you want to appear. Okay. So hopefully that helps. And if this is not the right question, just pause it again, because I know we're getting to the top of the hour here. That can change. Perfect. Absolute top class. Oh, thank you, Evan. That's kind. Appreciate that. It's really nice. Good stuff. Currently getting into these email via GBU. Cool.
Fabulous.
Okay. Awesome. Question. Here you go. What's the question? Not the co-op. I bought a follow-up program after signed up. I don't understand. Not the co-op.
Oh, they bought the pre-enroll. That's a follow-up program. Is that what you're talking about?
Okay.
Yeah.
Jamie, if you need some clarity there, just let us know so we can address them properly.
Yeah.
Just a second. Can we write the email in the reseller list before anyone has joined? I don't think that you can.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I've never done it, and I don't think it's, for me, the way, if it ends up in my reseller list, is because they were converted, right? Because it triggers that, there's a system that follows up with it, where the moment they come in from either co-op or my organic leads or whatever way of getting them in, the moment they activate, it sends an initial email for them to get started, right. Yeah. So I like to have my system work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just count the system to do all my work, but I like to, whatever the system or the AI or whatever can do for me, I will let it handle it. Now, obviously that's not an AI system, but I know that it's going to evolve as we keep moving. Everybody is catching on. And there's one thing about Gotbackup is that they're always right ahead. They're following the trends of what's going on in technology of today. And that's going to be added on. But again, maybe it's going to be part of a VIP package, because remember, company has to spend resources to add all of these tools, right? It doesn't come for free. Everybody pays for something, and it also brings an opportunity to increase profitability for the company. And if the company is more profitable, your cycles are higher. If your cycles are higher, everybody makes more money. right? So
and what I'll get Chris to do, I'm just thinking as he's talking, is on the boards we'll create a folder in English, and then whoever wants to translate it in the other platforms, they can. But the first email that goes out to your brand new partner, I'll get Chris to create that on a PDF document, and you can have access to that and create it in your own, broadcast that in your own reseller as you have a brand new person that signs up. It just triggers that welcome.
There we go. Let's go with the English. Okay, so by the way, folks, some of you are not aware of this, but you have now the English, the French, and the Italian, and I know there's other markets that are coming in. So
the interface and all of that.
Yes. So again, so the question here is, how do we set a capture page other than the tour? Well, first of all, just so you're aware, is you do have the tour here. If let's say you're talking, you know, there's some people that the moment you talk network marketing, they tune out until they realize what is going on. You can use this particular page over here. And I do that in some cases because I find that if I'm talking to someone that, you know, I just feel they may not really understand it. Well, it kind of brings the perspective. Okay, $8 for 1 terabyte, $9 for hello, common sense.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is when they click sign up, right? And let's say they select a year, then automatically they don't end up in a pre-enrollee. They end up as a reseller immediately on the spot. That's one thing that's cool about it. But in some cases, they just want to become a customer, right? So then you can choose. If someone does not want to become an associate, they want to just become a customer, then I just deactivate these things, and now they're a customer. But I encourage you to become an associate so you can get your service paid for, right? Or so at the end of the day, these are all choices. Yeah. But my point in saying that is you have options. And I know that, for example, Tammy created one, right? And if you have some experience in creating your own video, you can do that. And Gotbackup will certainly help you. So if I copy this link, okay, I just want to show you something, okay, that we did. If you copy this link and we put, what do we call it, Chris and Tammy?
I think so. Yeah, Chris and Tammy.
Something like that. Oops.
Yeah. My
wonderful typing skills. Chris and Tammy.
Yeah.
Now, if I've typed this right, this is the one that Gotbackup did, where Tammy and I did our own video.
We did our own, yeah.
Okay. And what we did is we added the name, the email, and the phone number. So when they click on that, this is actually our video. It's the one that Tammy and I did.
So it's more of a personal connection with our.
Hey, Chris and Tammy here.
Yeah.
We help people who are looking for an opportunity to make money with a business everyone can afford. We all know people who've had their phones.
Okay, so this started basically within the first 2 weeks that we got involved in the business.
Yeah, we can always upgrade one.
I would probably address it a little different today because I have a different perspective, I have a bigger vision of where we're going. Yeah. But my point here is to answer your question, Joe, is yes, you can create your own video and you can have your landing page modified. But again, this is not something for everybody. And remember, folks, there's people from different levels of technical know-how. And keep in mind that if it doesn't apply to you, don't worry about this. Don't feel that you have to do that. I'm just saying that some folks know how and some folks don't know how. And the fact is, I think Gotbackup has a great program by default, right? So again, there's just different things that you can do, but I just wanted to address the fact that you do have some options. Let me go back here. Okay. And for example, if you're doing Facebook ad campaigns, the less the better. In fact, Joel again has experience. You want to convert, okay, it's like 11:02. So you want to convert more, you want to get right to the point. This page will convert a lot more than these two. That's an understatement, and I can testify to that, right? These are some of the videos that were pre-recorded and so forth. And again, I do recommend for you to venture, but just to finish on our on the email campaign system, just to summarize very quickly, is you go under follow-up. Okay, under follow-up, then you have really the pre-enrollee and the reseller. Okay, if you buy co-op, then this list will also appear. It's really that simple. And then you have these emails that you can purchase. If you didn't purchase them, you can. I believe when you go into, is it Marketplace? I think you click on marketplace, right? And because I pretty much have everything, right? For me, there's nothing to buy, but for you, you may
Yeah,
have some
you're gonna
options
see
over here
options,
where you
yeah.
can upgrade. Okay. If someone, for example, paid monthly, they want to upgrade to a year. And if it's not there, listen, we'll work.
Contact support.
Yeah,
Yeah, the support is going to help you out. Yeah,
absolutely.
if you want to upgrade, because I've had many people that have contacted me and didn't know the email system. Long story short, they contacted support. Now they have the emails in their system. So obviously they purchased them for pre-enroll and for co-op. So
Yeah.
it's up to you. You can start with one and then do the other one later, or start with one for your pre-enroller and just focus on that for now, right?
Yeah.
And
So
compare
right
that.
now we need to sign up because we need to
Mm.
check this room. I think 11 o'clock is our deadline to
Yes.
get out of the room. So we need to get
Yeah.
out. But folks, at the end of the day, it's just go and experiment. This video is actually on the YouTube channel of Gotbackup. I'll make a copy also on our board under our training segments or recorded calls or whatever, and listen to that again. And again, if you need to pause the video, go and experiment, and then come back and just continue. And the key is you just take action, folks. Don't just sit down and wait for someone to explain to you everything. Just venture, just try it out. You know, and there's so many things. And one thing I tell people, if you don't know how to do something, obviously if it's not specific to Gotbackup and you want to do certain things like looking for this or looking for that, or how do I do a video, just go to YouTube and how do I, and then ask the question and be mindful of the date and the time and how many likes this video has received. If you have a video to have 100,000 likes, that's I don't know, less than a year old, maybe 3 months old. Well, that's a video that people see value. That's one I would recommend as maybe spend some time looking into it. So we'll end on this note, folks, and thank you so much. And if I missed some of your questions, I do apologize. Again, we have our Telegram group. If you're welcome to join us there. And just again, I want to be respectful because not everybody's part of our team here. So I want to respect that. So ask your leaders. We're happy. Tammy and I have always been an open book to share everything. If the company, if you do well, the company does well, the company does well, cycle goes up and everybody does better. So we're all connected. So we'll end on this note, folks, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your Saturday. And we'll talk to you next week. Is it the holiday?
I don't.
Yeah. If it's around Christmas time, folks,
we don't know the date.
there's not going to be a call. Anyway, we'll let you guys know.
But remember, the next one is the board. So make sure you tell your team you want everybody on that one. If you want your team in momentum duplicating, they got to be part of the board session.
So everybody have yourself a great rest of your weekend. If we don't see you or speak to you before then, have a Merry Christmas, a happy holiday, and maybe a Happy New Year. And Tammy and I are just always here, and we're committed, and we want to make sure that everybody does well.
Yes.
Okay, bye for now.